Say, Auntie's recording a video. Auntie's recording a video. Hi guys, this is Miss Momo here, and I want to share with you my process for keeping myself organized and keeping my kids safe when we attend a field trip. So the very first thing that I do when I am in the process of setting up a field trip is I always think about the kids that I'm going to take on the field trip. So I'm a high school teacher, so I have to figure out which classes. I can't take all my students, it would be 150 kids. So I have to think what this field trip is going to contribute to the classroom and what classes are going to benefit from it most. So the example I'm going to give you today will be for my non-science class that I am teaching. So the very first thing I do is I use the class rosters that we have, and then I import it into a Microsoft Word document. And this is a sample document that I would create. This is not an actual one. As you can see, I have a column for names, and I'm not going to show names on YouTube. So this is just a sample one that I would create. So for example, the trip that I'm going to take my kids on in about 3 weeks will be for my 5th and my 7th period classes. So what I would do is on this spreadsheet, I would put the student names, and if you can tell, the boxes are not that big. This is for me. So I don't need to have all first and all last names. Sometimes I can do nicknames. Sometimes I can just do just something to quickly remind me about the student. So it doesn't have to be anything official because this is for me. And I will have the class period, and I will have a column for whether or not they have a signed permission slip. So as you can see, I have yes, 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 and then a no will be in red. That tells me that the day of the field trip, if I do not have a signed permission slip, then that student will not be able to attend. Then I have a special column for allergies. I have students that are allergic to peanuts. I have students that are allergic to strawberries, and it's really important that in the midst of my 150 kids that I never forget which student has a certain allergy. So I make sure on my list that I put whether they have no allergies or they have, in this case, a peanut allergy, and that's always highlighted, or it's bolded, or it is put in red. I don't really count seasonal allergies, but if you have something that's more life-threatening, that's what I am concerned about. And I always gonna have a column for an emergency phone number. If an emergency happens, I have to call the school, but I'm also responsible for reaching out to parents also. And I want to make sure that there's no delay. If it's a serious emergency, I want to have that emergency contact information right in the palm of my hand. And then I always have an other column. I am so lucky that I have parents that are willing to chaperone. So if a student's parent is going to chaperone, I usually just do P chaperone or just chaperone. It's just a way for me to remember that this parent is going to come and chaperone the trip with me. It's really important that we have these systems in place because you never know when something's going to happen. You are responsible for these children. As teachers, it's a great responsibility, but sometimes we may get lost in the hustle and bustle of the day, or sometimes you may never have had anything happen to you in the classroom or on the field trip, so you might just put it in the back of your head. But I had an incident that happened that reminded me anything can happen and you have to be prepared. Hey guys, I had a very traumatic day today. For the first time in my entire teaching career, I had a medical emergency that really tested me. I had a student have a seizure right during class. I had no idea what was going on at first. And then the moment my mind clicked and realized what was happening, I went right into teacher/mama mode. I ran to the phone and I called for help, but when that kind of thing happens and you literally have 20 other kids in the classroom, and it's just something I would never forget. I've never even seen someone have a seizure before in real life, so it was very traumatic for me. My kids handled it very well for, I don't know, they did well considering the circumstances. But I'm going to have the nurse that was in the building come talk to my kids tomorrow, because while it was going on, we called for help. There were several staff members trained in here to help the child, and the nurse came in. So I took my class and we went up to the library. I had to get them out of the environment. And when we were up there, they had so many questions. I mean, a lot of questions I just couldn't answer. And we just talked about feelings, and, you know, and they told me about some experiences they've had with their grandma or the mother having seizures. And I must say it was a tough day. It was a tough day. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up sign. Please subscribe so you are notified any and every time that I upload a video. And please leave comments below. If you have a better idea of being organized or a better system to keep your kids safe on a field trip, let me know. Thanks, and until next time.